Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Abdullah Kamil, and in this video I'm gonna be showing you some skills related to date and time data. This video is a supplement to episode 1 of our training that we started a few days back. So the first one we're gonna look at here is how to combine date and time in one cell when they are in two separate cells. So to do that, we basically add both date and time together. So we take the date plus time and we get a combined date in one cell. To see how that is being done under the hood, select all the cells here, change the format to general, which basically removes the format, the current format applied. And as you can see here, the date is represented as a whole number, the time is represented as a fraction, as we know. Adding them up together basically glues both numbers together. Okay. Next, we're going to look at how to separate date and time into different cells. So to get the date extracted from date and time value here, we basically use a function called integer, and the integer function is going to give us the whole number, which is the date, and basically removes the fraction. So the number here that the integer function requires is going to be our date and time value, and then as you can see here, we get the serial number for the date. To make sure our answer is correct, we change the format to short date, and as you can see here, the date is correct. As for the time, we're going to use a function called mod, and the mod function is basically going to return the remainder of after a number is divided by a divisor. So if we divide date and time value here, which is a number, by 1, which is our divisor here, what are we going to get? We're going to get the fraction. And the fraction here, we know it's the time. So to make sure that our answer is correct, we change the format to time. And as you can see here, it is actually reflects the correct time. So something to keep in mind always, date and time are stored in Excel as numbers, with the date being a whole number and the time being always a fraction. Next, we're going to look at how to create some custom formats for date and time using different methods. So the first method we're going to look at is how to use format cells window to create some custom format. So choosing custom format here and removing everything you see, you can see that Excel shows us, how date and time is being stored in Excel. Let's say we would like to have the day name added to the format that you want to use, and that is a practical examples. Okay, so if you put 3 Ds there, you can get an abbreviation for the day name. Keep an eye on the sample here, and if you add the 4th D, you will get the full name for the day. And then we're gonna need maybe the month and the day. So we use M for months and D for days and Y's for year. Self-explanatory, I guess. This is how it's gonna look. Hitting OK, it will give us, the format that we have created. So what if we need to create some custom format using a function? We can do that using a function called text. So let's say, for example, we would like to have the year for the day displayed there. So we can use a function called text. And what the text function is going to do is going to convert a value, which means a number here, to a text in a specific number format. So the result of the text function is going to be a text. Okay, so the value is the date and time that we have, and the format is going to, it has to be between quotation marks. And because we would like to have the year, we put 4 Y's there, we close. And as you can see here, we get the year as a text. And you can see clearly why, because it's been aligned to the left. To get the month, we do the same thing. So we use text function, we choose the value, and the format, we're going to use 3 M's to get month abbreviation. So it's the month of May. For the day, we're going to do the same thing. And the value here, and we just need the double D, so we display it as a number. So as you can see, everything's been aligned to left, which means that the result of the text function is actually a text. Okay, applying the same functions to the next row, you can see how everything's get calculated correctly. So 2 things that are not part of the text function, or there is no code for it, which is the quarter and the week number. Okay, So to calculate, the quarter for any date that you have, and this is really useful when you have a long list of dates and you would like to kind of classify them by quarter, you need to do the calculation yourself, okay? So the way to do that is first you need to calculate the month number, and you use for that a function called month, and the serial number requested here is basically your date. And as you can see here, it's 5 for May. Okay, and then because the quarter has 3 months in it, you divide, the month that you have just calculated by 3. And as you can see here, you get the wrong format. So, but the calculation is correct. So basically the way to fix it is just change or remove the current format and just keep it as general. And this is the number we're after. And then you go back in again into the formula and round this number up to the nearest integer. So we round it up to the nearest integer. Okay, and for the number of digits we put 0 because we would like to have the integer. All right, and as you can see here, the quarter is 2. So we are in the second quarter when you use May. But it doesn't look really good. So we might need to add QTR at the beginning of the number there. So to do that, we put it between quotation marks, and you can do this to any function. And then to combine it with the rest of the function, you use the ampersand. This looks much better now. Same thing goes for week. So you calculate the week number. So it asks you for the serial number and then an optional thing, which is the return type, because it is within square brackets. So if we select to use the optional here, so you have the option to define what day the week starts and also what system is it. Okay, and that's the difference, subject that we can discuss at a later time. So now, because it's optional, we can opt out and we just calculate the week number with the current system preferences. Okay, and we hit enter. So we get its week number 21. Same thing goes here. We'd like to kind of identify it with some sort of a text, so we add it between quotation marks. We say WK, and then we close the quotation mark and put an ampersand there so to glue it to the rest of the formula. And as you can see here, now we have week number 21. It's clear for everybody, and it's really, display good in reports later on. Applying this to the second row, you can see how it gets calculated correctly, okay? So the last thing we're gonna look at here is how to calculate duration in hours between two different dates. So the first step is to subtract them. So you subtract the newest date from the oldest date, and the result you get is basically the number of days. To get the duration, we basically need to define a custom format to show us the duration. So we go to format cells, we go to custom, and the way to do that is placing between square brackets 2 H's there, and then 2 M's, and that's gonna give you the duration. So the square brackets, with H's in it or with M's in it, basically gives you the duration. And as it's a sample showing you here, it's gonna give you 212. So clicking OK here, you can see that between this day and this date, you have 212 hours and 12 minutes. Okay, so this brings us to the end of our video today. I hope you guys like it, and I would like to see you on episode 2 of our training. So be there. Thank you so much for listening.